Hi everyone, I'm Elena and thank you for taking this moment to be here with me. Before we go into the example, I want to share a simple human way of understanding what nonviolent communication is and why it matters in our schools. Here's what we'll do together in the next few minutes. First, I'll briefly explain what nonviolent communication is about in a simple and practical way. Then you'll hear a story from a student to ground us in a real experience many students live every day. After that, we'll watch a classroom interaction that shows some very common, well-intended ways adults respond and how those responses can sometimes miss what a student is really needing. Then we look at the same situation again, and this time through the NVC lens, so you can see and feel the difference. And finally, I'll share a few reflections about how these small changes can support our work with the students, with colleagues, with our families, and even with ourselves. NVC was created by Marcel Rosenberg, a psychologist who spent decades asking two simple questions. Why do some conversations bring people closer? And why do others create distance? And what he found is something we all know from experience. When people's needs to be heard and for understanding are met, their whole body softens. They relax, they open, and connection becomes possible again. NVC is a practical way to create that type of connection, especially in moments of stress, frustration, or conflict. It's not about being soft, and it's not about being nice. It's about being clear and honest in a way that doesn't add more tension to the moment. NVC starts with one simple truth. Underneath all behavior, we all share the same basic human needs. Needs for respect, belonging, clarity, support, safety, the need to matter. And our feelings are signals, little indicators telling us whether those needs are being met or not. When our needs are met, we might feel calm, curious, connected. When they are not, we might feel overwhelmed, hurt, frustrated, confused, or discouraged. But here's the challenge. Most of us were never taught to speak from feelings and needs. We speak in judgments instead. We say, I feel like you don't care. I feel disrespected. I feel manipulated. Those aren't actual feelings. They are judgments. And judgments almost always create defensiveness. But if I say, I feel overwhelmed and hurt, because I am wanting more understanding, something changes. The conversation opens, connection becomes possible again. So before we move on, I want to name the 4 components of NVC in a simple way. NVC has 4 parts: what we observe, what we feel, what we need, and what we request. Observations are just the facts, what actually happened, without judgment or interpretation. Feelings are the emotions that rise in us when something matters. Needs are the human values underneath those feelings. Clarity, respect, support, safety, belonging, and request are the concrete, doable actions that help us move forward together. In NVC, we use positive action language. We ask for what we do want to see rather than naming what we don't want. In real conversations, these 4 pieces are not a script. They are a direction, a way of staying connected while staying honest. And to use them well, Marcel Rosenberg taught us to begin with empathy. Empathy is presence. I am with you, not fixing, not correcting, not making it about me. Empathy is understanding, I hear you, letting the other person know their experience landed. Empathy includes gentle guesses about feelings. I'm wondering if you're feeling overwhelmed. And gentle guesses about needs. Maybe you're wanting clarity or support. And only after all of that, after empathy, we move to finding solutions, not before. Empathy first, solutions second. Now that you have this simple framework, I want to introduce you to a student who volunteered to help me today. She offered to share a part of her experience with us, something many students quietly carry with them.
Hello everyone, my name is Jay Wood and I'm a 12th grader at Birmingham High School. This is a story about my past. Growing up, for elementary and middle school, I went to predominantly Hispanic schools, and in elementary, that was the only black kid, so I didn't really fit in with people that were like around my age, and I didn't really fit in like at all in general. It was very hard for me growing up because I always felt like I didn't belong or I didn't have a place. And in middle school, it didn't really get better because the teachers would be like, oh, we'll just try to fit in with them. And it kind of made me uncomfortable because I shouldn't have to change who I am to fit in with others. However, on the lighter side, once I got to Birmingham, my 9th grade year, things got better. Like, I found a group of people that I really collabed with and vibed with, and they were just there for me, and I felt like myself. I felt like I can be in a group and still be myself and be heard. Today, me and Ms. Turner are going to show you guys an example of the kinds of conversations that happen in classrooms all the time, like the experiences that I had. And we're going to show you guys how it can feel different when someone uses empathy and awareness instead of just telling them or talking at them about a situation or a problem. Hey, Miss Turner. So here's what happened today. I didn't want to work with my group today because they ignored me the entire time. I tried to say something and they would just talk over me.
Well, next time you just need to be more confident and speak up.
I did try to be more confident. They literally looked past me.
Jade, are you sure they ignore you? Because I walked by once and I saw you all talking.
We weren't talking. They were talking to each other and I was just sitting there. I always end up alone in the group work.
Well, I think you might be taking it a little too personally. Group work is hard for everyone.
I'm not taking it personally. This just keeps happening. I get treated like I don't exist.
Oh, trust me, when I was your age, nobody listened to me either. I had it bad too. I had it worse.
I'm not saying that I have it worse. I'm saying it's unfair and exhausting.
Okay, here is what you should do. Next time, just tell them directly how you feel.
I can't be direct when I'm overwhelmed. That's the whole point.
Well, why didn't you stay with the group? Did you talk to them? What exactly did you do?
I just got overwhelmed. And I walked away, and you're not listening to me.
Okay, well, just try again tomorrow.
Hey, Miss Turner. I didn't want to work with my group today because they ignored me. And when I tried to talk to them, they would talk over me.
Okay, Jade, hold on. Let me slow down for a second because I really want to understand what happened.
They just talked to each other and they didn't really talk to me. It's like I wasn't even there. They just kind of saw past me and just completely ignored me.
Oh, I see. So you were working with a group, and from what you experienced, they were mostly talking to each other and not responding when you shared. Is that right?
Yeah, it was very difficult for me and it just felt very overwhelming and it just made me really upset because they weren't paying attention to me. Like, we're working together as a group. They should be talking to everyone at the table and not just themselves.
Yeah, I imagine that felt pretty overwhelming, maybe even a little discouraging, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm guessing what you want is a way to join the group and have a sense of belonging, right? Does that fit?
Yeah, I don't want to have to push myself into a circle, especially when I feel like I don't belong in that circle. So it'd just be better if I didn't have to fight to be a part of a group.
Yeah, of course. You want a sense of being part of the group. Thank you for telling me, and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I just didn't know what else to do. Like, I didn't really want to have a confrontation, so I just kind of came to you about it.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, we can figure it out together. Could it help if I check in with your group at the beginning of next period just to make sure everyone has a way to jump in? Or could you rather choose your partner today so you feel more grounded?
I think choosing would help. I'd like to choose my partner. That way, I'm actually talking to somebody that I know for a fact will talk to me back and make me feel included.
Okay, yeah, you can choose your partner and tomorrow we'll see what feels right. You're not doing this alone. Oh, thank you, Jade, for doing this with me.
Of course.
Yeah, and I'm curious to know what was the difference between the first conversation and the second.
So for the first conversation, for students, it's more demeaning and you're not really solving the problem. You're just kind of pushing it off for a student, and it could make them feel really overwhelmed and unheard. But for the second one, it's more empathetic and you're attending to that student's needs while also making sure that the problem gets solved and that they feel heard and that they have a safe place. For teachers, I think that you guys should definitely do the second one, because for students like me, I know that means a lot when we get heard and that we're not just being brushed off to the side.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. I want to end with this. NVC isn't something to master. It's something we grow into a little at a time. And what you saw in the skit, the same skills can support many parts of our work. Talking with a student who is overwhelmed, writing an email when we are stressed, checking in with a colleague, or dealing with a hard moment in class or with a parent. Since using these tools, my classroom runs more smoothly, and not because I'm stricter, but because students feel more secure. And when students feel more at ease and their need for safety is met, they participate. NBC helps us say what's true without creating defensiveness, and it helps us listen in a way that lets students open up. There is more to learn, but even small pieces help. A pause, a reflection, a simple guess, a bit more presence. And we don't have to learn it alone. We have a practice group here at school. If you ever want to try it, you're welcome. I hope something today brings a little more ease and clarity to your day. And thank you for listening, and thank you for the care you bring to our students and our community.